there are, in multiple cities, ongoing investigations as we speak of the Clinton Foundation. I've just been told it's most likely that those, and this is brand new that I'll be reporting later tonight, that it appears that some of those investigations are centered in Little Rock, Arkansas, Washington, D.C., and in New York City.
What's the benefit of the U.S. Attorney General being involved here rather than just the FBI?
Well, the U.S. attorneys are actually the prosecutors. They're the ones that will convene a grand jury. They're the ones that could seek an indictment. They're the ones that could actually call a trial in federal court. A lot of people are very confused. They don't realize that, yes, the Justice Department itself can investigate and can indict and can go to trial, but so can all of the U.S. attorneys that are all throughout the United States. We do understand that the New York attorney for the Southern District of New York is the lead U.S. attorney, and that the others are sort of feeding information to him. We've learned a little bit more also. Apparently, the decision about the lead prosecutors and also lead FBI officers are based on where's the evidence, where's the bulk of the evidence, what are the resources of the different offices. And New York is one of the largest U.S. attorney's offices and one of the largest FBI offices in the United States. And what we're talking about when you referred in the opening about pay to play, what we're talking about is financial crimes. And the Southern District of New York is based in Wall Street. And they go after financial crimes and corruption on a regular basis. So they are well equipped to go and take a look at this and to prosecute this if necessary.
He's the head of the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York and has a history of taking down big-time banks and politicians. Bharara has prosecuted diplomats and 100 Wall Street executives. He has reached historic settlements and fines with the 4 largest banks in the U.S. and closed multi-billion-dollar hedge funds. He has prosecuted New York State politicians, including the Speaker of the House, Sheldon Silver, and the Majority Leader of the Senate, both Democrats, and at one time even threatened to take on the Governor of New York. After 85 straight convictions, he finally lost one in July of 2014, an insider trading case. How would you like facing a federal prosecutor with only a 1 chance in 86 of escaping free? In 2012, Bharara was named by Time magazine as one of the 100 most influential people in the world, and by Bloomberg Markets magazine's 50 most influential.
We're investigating corruption in every place you can imagine one might find it. In the legislature, in unions, as we see today, in the executive branch, and I was making a broad and general point, deliberately lacking in specificity.
Caller, there is yet more trouble for the Clinton campaign this morning.
Well, that's exactly right. We saw, of course, an FBI probe into the security of Hillary Clinton's private server. Now, in 3 cities, according to new reporting, U.S. attorneys, in conjunction with the FBI, are investigating the activities of the Clinton Foundation, which, as you know, has been accused in recent months of basically selling access to foreign strongmen, to foreign governments, and those seeking to influence the U.S. government.
Right, so this is going on in 3 different cities, in Washington, D.C., and here in New York, and also in Little Rock, Arkansas, where the Clinton Foundation was launched in order to get the Clinton Library off the ground. But what does all this mean for Hillary Clinton and her future? Terry Turchi, a former Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI, was on the program earlier and says this.
The email investigation, the first one, involved violations of the espionage statute. It pretty much centered on the idea of gross negligence and mishandling classified information. This is different in that this involves violations of the criminal statutes involving corruption, and you could look at a vast range of charges here. The other major difference here is that in the one case we talked about the emails. They were the case. In this instance, the emails might very well have the content that helps make the case. As opposed to the first email case, this is a series of crimes that involve specific intent.
Criminal corruption. We talked to Judge Jeanine Pirro yesterday on the show, and I asked her, when does this become illegal? She says it is already illegal. And the idea that you could fly Bill Clinton in, pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars for a speech, and then suddenly you're able to have access to meetings at the State Department a few weeks later after you've paid her husband hundreds of thousands of dollars or donated money to the Clinton Foundation.
What do you think is motivating these field offices, Tucker, and the FBI to do this? I mean, is it the meeting that Bill Clinton had with Loretta Lynch on the tarmac? Is that raising eyebrows? You know, since the DOJ in Washington, D.C. isn't doing this, they're reportedly going to?
There's just so much. I mean, the fact that an employee of Hillary Clinton's was working both for the State Department and for the Clinton Foundation and for a third group simultaneously is such an obvious conflict of interest, it's hard to believe it was allowed. Here's the tragedy. Hillary Clinton could get elected president, like soon, like in 90 days. If that happens, this stuff is not going to go away. The President of the United States will have her activities under scrutiny from the FBI. That's bad for America. The press should have been on this 15 years ago when it all began.